say something outrageous. I have never been particularly poor at calculating how to get things done in the United States Senate. So the best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, we're going to get a lot done.
Now, over that again, I don't quite understand.
So the best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, we're going to get a lot done.
Seemed like a nice guy. I wonder what he was talking about.
Do you know that every day someone loses a sale or creates a misunderstanding just because he does not speak intelligibly?
1.2 billion. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store and a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
Now in the next few minutes, we're going to give you some examples of good and bad speech and show you the main faults of most speakers. We'll show you some things to do and some things not to do. The first thing that every speaker should do is to learn the three basic aims of public speaking. One, you must be heard.
You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
Two, you must be understood.
What?
Three, you must be pleasing.
But look, here's the deal.
It looks like you don't have your back over the truck.
Now remember these 3 points. You must be heard, you must be understood, and you must be pleasing. Now most of us fall short in at least one of these 3 points. For instance,
15-year-old kid, the kid he or she plays ball with. You got the vaccination? Yeah. Are you okay? I mean, you see, no, it works. Or or the mom and dad, or the neighbor, or when you go to church, or when you're. No, I really mean it. There are trusted interlocutors. Think of the people. If your kid wanted to find out whether or not there's a man on the moon or whatever, something, or whether those aliens are here or not. Who are the people they talk to beyond the kids who love talking about it? They go to people they respect.
many of us clutter up our speech with uhs and ers. And in this way, we create vocal static. We can be heard, yes, and we can be understood, but we're dull and boring. Now, here's another typical example.
Can do so as soon as possible. 10 states, as I said, on Friday, started their early voting the day that we lost Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
But to be clear, you're not taking any arrows out of your quiver. You're not ruling anything out.
Good morning. Sunday morning. We have a responsibility. We take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. We have a responsibility to meet the needs of the American people. When we weigh the equities, protecting our democracy requires us to use every arrow in our quiver.
Most of our audience can't make out what she is saying. So she's not heard, she's not understood, and she's not very pleasing. Now let's look once more.
And by the way, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
It's not hard to find fault with that speaker. Many of his listeners won't be able to understand him, and those that do won't admire his sloppy speech. Do you know that the trouble with most of the speakers we have heard can be traced to one thing? Practically all of us would be better speakers if it were not for this one big fault: carelessness. Yes, carelessness is at the root of most of the ills of poor speech.
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
We have to make sure that every single child does in fact have 3, 4, and 5-year-olds go to school, not daycare, school. We bring social workers into homes of parents to help them deal with how to raise their children. It's not that they don't want to help, they don't know quite what to do. Play the radio, make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone, make sure the kids hear words.
I apologize for that. I apologize, but I didn't know that apology was going to work. He said, "You apologize to me?" I said, "I apologize for that, not for throwing you out, but I apologize for what I said." He said, "Okay," closed a straight razor, and my heart began to beat again.
Have you found yourself yet? Do you know what your careless speech habits are?
Afghans falling.
That was 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
And then take steps to correct it. Now let's see if we can help you. First, every good speaker should practice opening the mouth wider than usual as he or she speaks. In this way, the words can flow out and the audience can hear you.
Everything woke turns to
Speak
shit.
with life and animation, yet speak deliberately. Use plenty of lip and tongue action. This helps you to enunciate clearly, so you will be understood. Speak in low, full tones, so that what you say will be pleasing and appealing to the ear. Don't let your voice be high, shrill, and unpleasant just because you're a little excited. Keep it low and pleasing. Speak with variety. Change pace so that each sentence doesn't sound just like the other. For if you want to keep your audience interested, your manner of speaking must be pleasant and interesting.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
The idea is to be interesting. Interesting but real. Now, are there any questions?
Professor Bueller,
Yes?
won't people think I'm peculiar if I start speaking differently than I ever have before?
Now, that's a good point. But I don't think you need worry about it. You see, your speaking voice will become more adequate as you practice the rules of good speaking. And your friends won't think that you're peculiar. On the other hand, they're more likely to admire you for having improved your manner of speaking.
You know, I spent more time on my hands and knees picking through rugs, smoking anything that even remotely resembled crack cocaine. I probably smoked more Parmesan cheese than anyone that you know, I'm sure.
Speak audibly so you may be heard.
Play the radio, make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night.
Speak distinctly so you may be understood.
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
And speak with life and enthusiasm so you may be pleasing.
To those Americans who no longer believe that you can do the job.
I had a basic decision to make.
And remember that good speech will be a great asset to you always. It is the mark of a cultured person and a well-developed personality.
You know, the rapidly rising I don't know, I'm going to say something outrageous. I have never been particularly poor at calculating how to get things done in the United States Senate. So the best way to get something done
if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, we're going to get a lot done.
Take pride in your voice
Sure, I suffered depression.
and your speaking manner.
We're doing anything wrong.
You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
Take pride in the way you sound.
Or the mom and dad, or the neighbor, or when you...
You have only one voice. Be careful how you use it.
Clap for that. Man, you are a dull bunch. Must be slow here, man.
It's true. Everything woke turns to shit, okay? It's true. It's true. Look at what's happening.